You join me down here in deepest, darkest Oxfordshire. And yeah, we're on the Linch Hill complex and we're down here on Christchurch today. And yeah, this is my first vlog in quite a while, so yeah, it's good to be back. And it's nice to be out doing a vlog again. Yeah, got my ticket on here, started the 1st of April. It's, I think it's the 8th of May now, so yeah, I've been on here a month now. But this is actually going to be my first vlog from here. Had a bit of success already, had a couple of nice fish, which I'll tell you about in a little while. But yeah, used to come here quite a lot with Harley. We used to come down here and do week sessions at a time, and when it was day ticket. But yeah, it turned to syndicate about 4 or 5 years ago, so yeah, put my name down on the waiting list, and yeah, it's come up this year and I've managed to grab myself a ticket. So yeah, you're going to see me quite a bit on here this year on Linch Hill. There's a couple of lakes I can fish. I've got the Christchurch and the Willow ticket. I could have had the Stone Acres ticket as well, but yeah, I'm just going to concentrate on Christchurch and Willow for this year. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Some beautiful fish in here, and yeah, really excited to be back down here. Give you a quick look at the lake, or what you can see from here anyway. Just turn my screen around a little bit so I can see it. But yeah, check that out. It's a beautiful day today. It's going to be quite high pressure, and yeah, it's going to be quite sunny today. But bite time's been about lunchtime, so it's about 6:30 now. It takes me about an hour and a half to get here from mine. Just straight on the M6, M5, M40, and I'm basically here. So not too bad a drive. But yeah, I get up about 3, so it's a bit of a long old day, to be honest, when you get here first thing. So yeah, really looking forward to this session. I'm in a swim called the Plate. As you can see, the water's quite high at the moment. It's usually down there somewhere, but yeah, it has actually gone down quite a bit. When I first came on, that was quite high. That was right up here, but it is dropping, so that's a good thing. But yeah, check that out. Not quite sure how big the lake is. I think it's probably about 20 acres, I think, something like that. 80, 90 fish, but beautiful fish. That's a bit like the old Forrest Gump box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And like I say, yeah, I've had a couple of nice fish. Already. So my screen around. Had a couple of nice fish already, and yeah, broke my PB as well. So yeah, I'll tell you all about that in a little while. I think what I'm going to do is I've got my gear around here already, and yeah, this bank's pretty quiet, to be honest. The other bank's quite busy, and it has been quite busy down this bank, but yeah, there's a guy down there in a swim called Entries. I fished a swim down there last week, or the week before, and yeah, I'm in a swim called the Plate. So this is one of the swims that me and Harley used to aim for when we used to come here when it was day ticket. These were the going swims. The reason it's called the Plate, I think, is because there's a bit of a plateau out there, obviously called the Plate. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do, get all the gear out. I'm not going to start putting a lead about yet. Like I say, it's about 7 o'clock now. It's not really fair on the other guys on the other side, really, starts crashing the lead about out there. So I'm not going to rush to get the rods out. But yeah, I'm going to get all the gear set up, and then we'll go from there. Well, that's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. I've got the rods out and laid on my bed chair for a little while, and actually fell asleep for a few hours. So, but yeah, that sun's been relentless today. It's been really warm. and it's been really high pressure as well, so yeah, I didn't really expect any action throughout the day today. But yeah, the rods went out really nice. Put the marker float out to begin with, just to get a bit of an idea where I wanted to be. I didn't really drag it along too much. Kind of like knew what the area was going to be like. It was more just as a site to put some boilies out and put a load of 18mm Royal Marine out with a throwing stick, and yeah, just covered a nice little area out there. I don't really want to concentrate my bait in one area. I want them to be picking about. And yeah, put some new C-clip heli leaders on, using the green ones on this session, the green camo ones. The difference between these ones and the ones I normally use, I usually use the silicone sleeve, but because I'm fishing 3.5 ounce leads and I'm fishing using the small C-clips, I'm actually using the C-clip buffer beads. The reason for that is because the C-clip buffer beads tend to hold on to the C-clip a lot better. You can cast a little bit better without losing the lead, and with the heavy lead on longer distance, longer casts. With the silicone sleeve, it doesn't seem to hold the C-clip very well. If you're using the bigger C-clips, that's usually all right, but because I want to fish the range with a heavy lead, and I want to drop the lead on the take, or if the fish gets snagged, I want to make sure that lead comes off, I'm using the small C-clips. So yeah, just using one of the C-clip buffer beads. A little tip, what I usually do as well is get a little bit of petroleum jelly and just cover the C-clip on it. And that just helps that come off as well. And after it's been in the water for a little while, and there's sometimes the rubbers are a little bit difficult to get off, so it just lubricates it a little bit, makes it easier to come off. But yeah, the rig wise, I'm just using the multi hinges, just one of our size 4 chod hooks. That's with some of our chod link just doubled up and just tied to a flexi ring swivel. And then that's just tied with a perfection loop to a 12-inch length of our 25-pound fluorocarbon, and that just goes straight onto the quick link on the heli leader with a silicone sleeve over the top, and that's all done. And just a little white stem from hell pop up on there. I've got a pot of stem from hell pop-ups that really stink. I've had them for ages, and I just keep putting a little bit of the booster liquid in them. And yeah, they really do smell like hell. So if I actually open them up in my shed, my missus starts moaning because she can smell it indoors. So, but yeah, that's what I had the big comment on last week. So yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, I've got my ticket on the 1st of April, and we're in the 6th session in now on this session. But on the first session, got down here, I think it was the 3rd of April I got down here from the first session. I actually fished the swim over there, swim 4. Got here first thing in the morning before first light, had a good look around, and I thought middle for diddle to start, and there was fish showing out there as well. So I had a bit of a lead about out there, and I found a nice little spot about 15 wraps. So I decided to put 2 Ronnie rigs on that. I fished Ronnie rigs on it, with just little white pop-ups, a little bit of bait over the top. And then just to the left hand side, I used one of our 2-metre flying chod leaders. I had the top bead right up, and just had a chod with yellow pineaphell on there, and I just pub chucked that to the left a little bit. Didn't feel a drop, so it obviously went into some weed, but it was fishing. And yeah, nothing happened all afternoon, and not all day and all afternoon. And then in the middle of the night, or first thing in the morning, started getting a few bleeps on the chod. So I got up, put the head torch on, and just started watching the bobbin. Was just going up and down really slowly, just kept going up and down. Typical chod bite really. I think that it was just kiting on a sight line. So I picked the rod up, felt the fish on there. As soon as I felt the fish on there, my head torch went off and the battery had gone flat. I'd forgot to charge it up. So fish was shaking his head quite a lot. It didn't feel like a big fish, to be honest, but I managed to get it in, managed to net it. The sun was then starting to come up, so luckily enough I just about saw it, got it in the net, put the net into the bank, went and got another head torch on, had a look in, and yeah, that was a nice big mirror. So yeah, that was a good start to my first session. Check that out. 38 pound. Stunning Christchurch mirror. Look at that. Look at the scales on it. Unbelievable for my first fish back on the Linch Hill complex. I'm And what a fish for my first vlog from here, brilliant. Yeah, a fish called Hartley's at £38, and yeah, apparently it's quite a rare one as well. It doesn't come out a lot, so yeah, I was really chuffed to have that one for my first session. But then I did another couple of sessions after that, and yeah, blanked, moved around the lake a little bit, fished a few swims, but I was constantly just keeping an eye on where people were catching from. And the fish do tend to show themselves a lot in here, so yeah, they do tend to give themselves away a little bit. Then I come down the week before last, and decided to fish a swim down on the bottom bank, swim 10. It's right in the middle of the bottom bank. There's only two swims on that bank, and that one was right in the middle. And it was blowing a northeasterly, so the wind was behind me, and it felt quite cold that morning, so I thought I'll fish off the back of the wind. So I got into that swim, tied 3 chods up again on the flying chod leaders, 3 pineappels, and just flicked them out. 10 wrap limit from that swim. And the fish just seemed to keep showing just a little bit further out from where I was fishing, and even though there was nobody in trees, I knew that if I started fishing out a little bit longer, someone was bound to get in there, and then I'd have to bring my rods in, what have you. So a couple of the swims up here were free, so I thought, right, I'm going to move. So I moved around here, and yeah, found a nice little spot out in front of middle trees, about 13 wraps, and put 3 bottom baits on there, or 3 wafter rigs on there. I was just fishing leg clips on that because that was a nice clean area. So I fished three wafter rigs and just put them out really close together, and then just put a bit of bait over the top. Again, didn't put a lot of bait out, about 4 or 5 spoms just to cover the area. I'm not fishing for a haul, I'm just fishing for a bite. So, and that just all night, just not a bleep. I mean, there was fish showing everywhere, and especially to my left, and they'd really got on the wind. Even though it was really cold, they'd really got on that wind, and not a bleep all night. So I sat there in the morning. It got to about lunchtime, and I thought, well, I'm not going to sit here on just on 3 rods on the spot with nothing happening. So I decided to bring the left-hand rod in, and I put a heli leader on, and again I used the multi-hinge with a 12-inch fluorocarbon boom. Just put a little white stem from hell on there, and just flicked it over to 17 wraps just to the left a little bit. When I was fishing peg 4 over there, there was a guy fishing in the middle trees, and I noticed he was casting directly at me. So that's exactly what I did in middle trees, cast directly at that swim. Put my rod on the rest, put the alarm and everything on, sat down, made myself a brew. A bit gutted, to be honest, because the battery had gone flat. I hadn't actually had a camera on my rods all morning, trying to get a run if one of the rods went off. Yeah, and I took the camera into the boilie, and it was charging up. One of the guys came, spoke to me, sitting there talking, and all of a sudden the left-hand rod just went bang, just ripped off. Picked it up, fish kited right, and before I knew it, it was solid. I knew exactly where it was going, straight into the weed, and it was just solid. So one of the guys who was in the swim to the left went and got the boat. I was a bit nervous because I'm not really a boat angler, not really had a lot of experience catching fish in boats. I've obviously seen people do it before, and I've watched people on here when they've been waded up in the boat. So put the life jacket on, got in the boat, and then just slowly pulled myself towards the fish using the rod. Once I got over the top of the fish, obviously you can't really play a fish when it's right up, when you're right over the top of it with a rod, so I put the rod down and then just started hand lining it up. Started coming up 2 or 3 times, and it was just going again, then went straight back into the weed again. And then on the 4th time I was bringing it up, and the line just went all slack, and I was like, oh, I lost it, it's gone. Just see a big ball of weed coming up with a line, and that was like just pulling it up. All of a sudden the common just came up and started moving about, so I grabbed the net, got underneath it, got the fish, got a big ball of weed, and yeah, I knew it was a PB common straight away. My PB common has been about 7 years. I think it was 41.4 from Swan at Bluebell. Lovely fish, but yeah, about 7 years ago. And yeah, I absolutely smashed that. 44 pound 4 ounces this one. Fish called Coke Can.
Lift the tail up a bit.
Yay!
Good save.
Fill that bucket up. Fill that bucket up, because you're going to have to get him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he having it?
Yeah, I think so, mate.
I can't got no waders on.
Oh.
You'll just have to pass me that camera, boy.
Can you just come down? Can you kneel down a little bit? That's it. Up a bit more.
Nice, man. Look at the mouth on
Few more.
it. It's just.
Check that.
Wait.
Got to run off.
Go on.
Yes, lad. I'm glad I never had my fish when he was here, mate.
Savage.
Oh,
Well done, mate.
But yeah, got a bit of a soaking, and yeah, that kind of like blew my mind, that fish. That's what I joined Linch Hill for. And yeah, there's plenty more like that in here. All my clothes were soaked. I didn't have any spare clothes with me. And I just had enough of that session. That had done it for me. I was happy with that. So I decided to pack up and go home. And yeah, we're back today. This is where you join me today. So hopefully we'll be able to have another fish on this session. Like I say, the pressure's really high. And this weather's, I think tomorrow's going to be a little bit more cloudy. You'll probably hear a few aeroplanes going over the top. We're actually on the main flight path to RAF Bryce Norton, so you get the big transporter planes going over and all manner of planes going over. So, but yeah, there's a few people getting on now, and I expect it'll get really busy later, and tomorrow especially. I'm here for a couple of nights, and I'll be going early Saturday morning. So I think what I'm going to do now, I'm going to chill out in the brolly, have a bit of a tidy up because I've got a load of gear out, my laptop and everything's out. Get myself something to eat and then see what the evening brings. Well, good morning. We got one in the sling. Had it about 10 minutes ago. Just now starting to get light, which is ideal. Not the biggest fish in the lake, 28.2, I've just weighed it. Nice scaly mirror. So yeah, let's get it out and have a look. Check that out. Look at the colours on it, really dark, beautiful scales. I'll have me a few more of these. That's what we come to Linch Hill for. Let's get some pictures of it. Just treat its mouth, get it back. Well, what a way to start the day. Woke up about 2 o'clock in the morning. I had a rat scurrying about in my brolly, so I woke up about 2, scared that off, and I sat here for about an hour, and there was a lot of fish showing out there, especially out in front of me where on my spots anyway. There was a lot of fish showing around. Managed to get back to sleep for a little while, and then I think it was about 4:30. It just rattled off the right hand rod. It was just a screamer, just a one toner, so I jumped up, hit into it. Luckily enough, it didn't weed me up. The guy in the swim down to the right of me, he had one around about the same time, and he had to go out in the boat because it had really badly weeded him up. So luckily enough, I managed to get it in. And yeah, £28.2, one of Linch Hill's finest. Not the biggest fish in here, but yeah, I'm happy with that. I'll happily take some of the smaller fish as well. And yeah, this is the rig. This is the rig, the multi-hinge. And this is what I had the big comment on the other week as well. And yes, ever so easy to tie. So this is just one of our size 4 choddy hooks in the microbarb version. And then that's tied on there with a doubled up section of our 20-pound chod link. The reason I double it up is because it makes it quite stiff, and obviously to be able to make the multi-rig as well, you have to double it up so you've got the loop there. But that I haven't actually curved that. I've not steamed it or curved it or anything. That curve that you can see is actually the natural curve from the memory of the chod link being on the spool. And if you tie it in such a way, or you take it off in such a way and form that hook link in such a way, it'll retain that curve and it'll just stay like it. You don't have to steam it, you don't have to curve it or anything. So like I say, what I'll do is I'll do a video and show you how to tie this rig, and that's really simple. On top there you can see there's a little rubber bead. The reason for that is basically because I want that chod link to stay together. If it opens up slightly, it might restrict the movement of that micro ring swivel up and down. So yeah, I'll just put that bead on there just to squeeze it together. That's tied down on there on a flexi ring swivel, and that's just like a 1 turn knot. You don't need to turn this 3 or 4 times because it's quite a stiff material. So you just do a 1 turn knot, and then what I do is I'll just trim that down and just blob the ends. Then that's on a 12-inch length of our 25-pound fluorocarbon. And that's just tied on there. Let's get that back in focus again. That's just tied on there with a perfection loop, and there's a perfection loop at this end as well. And I just put a little silicone sleeve on there, and that just slides onto the quick change swivel on my heli leader. The reason I like using the perfection loop, because if you can see, it's nice and straight. It sits nicely in line. If you tie a figure of 8 loop, they usually kick off to one side a little bit, and they're not really straight. These are quite a strong knot as well. So yeah, that's the rig. White Scent from Hell pop up on the top, and I'm not having to put any putty or anything on that. That's just balanced just lovely, and that's just sinking nicely down. This fluorocarbon's quite supple. For £25 it's quite supple, but it'll still kick away nicely. So yeah, cast that in moderate to low line weed or over chod. And yeah, that'll present nicely on the heli leader. So yeah, bonus fish for the session, and I've got another night to go as yet. I think there's been a few fish out this morning. I think Guy and Peg 2 had one. The guy on point, I think he's had a fish called 4 scale. I think the guy across from me's had one as well, and the guy to the right of me, he had one, a nice 30-pound mirror. Went round and got the photographs of that for him. So yeah, I don't know what the weather's going to be like today. It says it's going to be cloudy, but it's looking quite bright at the moment. Hopefully that sun's not going to be up like it was yesterday, because it was really hot sat here. But yeah, I'm going to leave the rods out for another few hours. I think I might get myself some bacon on, have some breakfast, and then yeah, we'll see what happens throughout the day. Well, I left the rods in till lunchtime, and all the fish are just on the top now. Here's a guy just down in the corner there, surface fishing. He's got them going on floaters, but whether they're gonna, I'm just trying to keep away from the corner, to be honest. I don't want to disturb it down there. But yeah, roasting hot again. Lucky enough, it's quite overcast, so yeah, the sun's not out and beating down on me. So, but yeah, brought the rods in. I thought I'd just have a quick walk around Willow. Beautiful Lake Willow. It's a bit underrated, really. I think I probably can see myself doing a few sessions on there this year. But yeah, went over there, had a quick look around, and yeah, the fish have actually started spawning over there, and yeah, they're really on it all over the lake as well. So it's a bit shallower, I think, Willow. So it's bound to start first. It's quite early though. It's first week of May. So yeah, it's quite early for him to start spawning, but yeah, it's been quite hot over the last couple of days, and I'm quite surprised considering the amount of rain we've had over the last few weeks. But there you go. So I should think these will be next in here. So I'm kind of like thinking this might be my last session on there for a few weeks. But yeah, so I'm glad to be able to get this vlog out. That'd be good. But yeah, last 12 months have gone pretty quick, to be honest, since my last vlog. That's been crazy, to be honest. Been working really hard on the brand, getting our little brand up and running, and yeah, me and Claire have been working really hard at home in our little home office, and Claire, bless her, she's done really well. She's redesigned all our packaging, and everything now flows all across everything. So all our spool packaging and our leader packaging and hook packaging, it all flows nicely and all links in together. So yeah, I'm really proud of her. She's done a really good job of that, and yeah, we've got some really nice products now. And I think we've got over 60 different types of leaders in our range now. I don't think there's actually another brand out there that's got that amount of leaders. And yeah, they're all hand tied by myself as well. Most of my time is taken up tying leaders. I spend about 2 or 3, maybe 4 days a week just sitting there, just tying leaders up. And we also do custom leaders as well. So if anybody wants something that we haven't actually got in our range, I'll just make custom leaders up for people as well. So if you want a different length or any sort of leader that we don't do that you can come up with in your mind and you want me to make, I'll have a go at it, have a go at it for you. So, but yeah, the water park, I did another couple of sessions on Broomycroft, and yeah, I really had my sights set on the canal pool. Really wanted to get over there. I kept walking around there with Blue. I mean, I like the water park because it was only like 20 minutes up the road from my house, so I could just get on the motorway and take Blue up there for a quick walk around and keep my eye on the place. And yeah, I've decided to get on Canal Pool. That was by this time, that was like the start of summer. They'd already spawned. Went down there for my first night, and yeah, managed to bag myself one of the A team on the first session. Oh, look at that. 31.8. My first Canal Pool fish. Decided to come down there for a quick night last night. It was really hot yesterday, so I didn't want to sit here in the daylight. So yeah, got just down there early evening. Had a good walk round, saw a few fish milling up and down this margin that I'm near this swim that I'm in at the minute, so thought I'd just plot up in here. Really weedy at the minute, so just put a few chods out, just a scattering of boilies around. Yeah, and this ripped off first thing this morning. I think a couple of weeks before that had gone 38, so a bit unlucky there, but yeah, still a nice fish to start off with. And yeah, I think there was about 4 of us fishing it throughout the whole of the year. It was a really weedy lake, which I think put a lot of people off. But yeah, in my mind, it was a bit of an advantage, really. Could get down there, could move into like more or less any swim you wanted, really. Move into any sort of area. The only thing was, you start casting at fish when there's nobody else fishing on there, they're just going to move off, and that's exactly what they did. So it made it quite difficult fishing. But yeah, I started fishing the weed beds. There's a lot of weeds started drifting around, and certain swims on certain days you just couldn't fish. There'd be like a raft of 30 foot of weed in front of the swims. So yeah, you were a bit limited sometimes where you could fish. But yeah, I most of my fish fishing off the weed beds. Had a nice common, nice one-eyed common. I think it went about £20. On that same session, I actually got the run on film. And I had another little mirror, about £17 again. That was really spawned out. but I think it was one of the old original things, quite rather real gnarly old thing. And then I moved, started fishing a swim over the other side of the lake, and I did a quick night session on there, and I had a couple of nice mirrors. One was about £26, I think, something like that, I can't remember now, or 22, and I had a little stocky as well. In January time, I think we had our first freeze, I think. The lake totally froze, and yeah, I decided to go up the Broads with my friend Robbie Northman, and started doing a bit of perch and pike fishing. I was doing a bit on the canal pool, had a couple of little pike out of canal pool, but yeah, I decided to go for a day session or a day trip with my friend Robbie in his boat up the Broads, and yeah, he was just taking me around some of the hot spots for perch and pike, and yeah, had a really good day out. So if you fancy a day out perch fishing or pike fishing and you want to go out for a guided tour or a guided day out with Robbie, I'll leave his details in the description, so just give him a shout. Really good lure angler, really knows what he's talking about, and yeah, he knows the Broads like the back of his hand. So if you fancy a bit of that, like I said, I'll leave his details in the description, give him a shout, and yeah, go and have a good day out with him. But then yeah, after January, the lake kind of like switched off, the canal pool. After the freeze, it kind of like switched off, and I decided just to go down to day sessions on one of the little days only pools. I'd been told that during the floods a lot of the fish had moved from Broomycroft into one of these little day session pools, a little pool called Gibson's. So I decided to go down there and did a couple of day sessions down there, and yeah, on the last session down there, managed to get on the fish. Just fishing our flying chod leaders and just flicking them around to show them fish. And yeah, I managed a nice couple of mirrors out of there. One of them I think was at a broomy. I think it was about £26. And then I had another one, I think that was around 20 something. So a couple of really nice fish. And that was the kind of like the last time I did any sessions on the water park, really. I knew at that point I wasn't going to renew my ticket, and I was kind of like in a quandary of what to do this year, but yeah, luckily enough the Linch Hill ticket came up, and yeah, it solved all my problems. So this is where you find me now, and yeah, I've really got the buzz for being on here. Had 3 nice fish already, and yeah, I think there's going to be plenty more. But yeah, it's looking good out there. But it's been really hot again today, really muggy, but it's not been so sunny. The sun is out at the minute, but there is a bit of cloud in the sky. So but yeah, all the fish are just on the top, milling about. So yeah, I brought the rods in earlier, and just put a few more boilies out there as well. Put a couple of kilo of boilie out there, just with a throwing stick. And just the Royal Marines, I've got some 18 mils and some 15 mils, and I was just scattering them around the spot. So I've got my spool covers on, just some sweat bands there covered in water. Just keeping my braid nice and wet. It's all important just to keep your braid wet, because you don't want to let it dry out. Just remember with braid as well, always wet it before you cast out, otherwise you'll end up getting wind knots. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap them up. It's getting on for 4:30 now. I'm going to wrap them up and get them ready to go out, because I'm hoping to have another fish tonight or in the morning before I go. But yeah, I'm going to get them rods wrapped up, probably get my tea on and settle down for the evening. Well, good morning. Yeah, really strange last night. Really quiet. Compared to the night before, it was like a dolphin show the night before, and they do like to show themselves on here. But this morning and last night, it's just been deadly quiet. After I got the rods out yesterday afternoon, I sat down and had my tea, and lay down on my bed chair, and yeah, I fell asleep. Woke up about midnight. I sat here for about an hour just listening, and absolutely nothing. I heard a bit of a commotion up to the left hand side, but could have just been coots or the geese. I did have a violent liner on my right hand rod, but again I thought that I just assumed that it was a coot picked me up. And I just spoke to the guy down to the right of me, and he said exactly the same. He was just getting loads of liners throughout the night, but it was really quiet. And there's a load of weed come up out in front of his swim, so yeah, I reckon the fish have started spawning on here now. I know they shut willow yesterday, and I think this is soon going to follow suit. It's going to be a really warm day again today, so yeah, it's really going to switch them on to spawning, I think. So it looks like this could be my last session for a little while. I know they shut for a month, which is fair enough. So it gives me time to get home and get the old paintbrushes out and earn a few brownie points. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. A bit rusty, like I said earlier. I haven't done one for 12 months. And yeah, it's been nice just to get a fish for the camera, and just been able to put a vlog together. Now I'm on here, you'll see a lot more vlogs. I'm going to put a lot more vlogs out now. I'm going to try and do one every month. So yeah, it's about 6:30 now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a pack down. I need to be getting myself away. Got to get myself home. So got a lot to do today. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this vlog. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page, A Carpy Connection, and our Instagram page as well, at A Carpy Connection. Get on there and give us a follow. Really appreciate that. And also our YouTube channel as well. Give that a subscribe, and make sure you comment and leave a like for this video as well. That'd be great. And also our website as well, www.acarpyconnection.co.uk. Give that a look and check out all the stuff we've got on there. We've got some really nice stuff on there. So yeah, what we're going to do is give it another half hour, have a good pack down, get with a barrel all loaded up, get round to the car, and drive home. So once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, be lucky.